So at this time, I'm actually going to switch presentation over to Nolan, and they're going to give us some more information on their products. We will be hearing from our partners there. Patrick Norton, please take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. So what I'm going to do now is present sort of a technical demonstration of the daily workflow process that we use with our advanced bank reconciliation product. So I can start and get going here. So on a day-to-day basis, in our example here, I'm working with Fabricam. The current date's 4/12/2017, so that will be our reconciled date, 3/12 to 4/12. Our first step is to extract the transactions. What this process does is reach directly into the general ledger that you work with on a daily basis. So 3/12/2017. And like I mentioned, this is just going to pull in all of the transactions that are tied into this bank account via the associated GL account. I've already performed this extract, but the process is just like this. The second step we perform is importing the associated bank statement. Just to make it quick, I've already imported this as well. In this case, it's a CSV statement. So I'd click import. And this is the main reconciliation window. It's where 95% of the work is done. So if you look up in the top, we have the current book balance, which is the associated GL account balance. We have some additional information, account number, currency routing number. The statement ending balance is our statement ending balance as of 4/12/2017. Over on the left-hand side, the GL transactions that we just extracted are populating, as well as the statement transactions that we just imported. So we're able to click these double down facing arrows and expand a bit more detail. You can see the date, document number, check number, reference, amount on both sides. We can also independently sort these from side to side. So if I would like to sort everything by amount, I can simply click on amount. It goes to low to high. If I happen to want to see high to low, I could just click it again. You can also do that with reference, document number, date, and on the statement side as well. So we can be sorting by transaction date on this side, document number if we wanted over here. We also have a bunch of nice sorting features or filtering features by date amount, match number, check number, document number, reference, equal to, not equal to, etc. Those are also independent. We can also do the find that everyone's familiar with GP by any of these parameters here. In this case, I have date selected, so the date pops up here. If I chose reference, it would be by reference. So those are the nice sorting features. And to summarize, what we've done so far is only extract, import the bank statement, and what I do now is I click the propose button, and that's our auto matching functionality. It first looks to match transactions on amount alone, and then by other given parameters that I've set behind the scenes. So I can go ahead and click the propose button. As you can see, there's some match numbers over here. And if we sort by match, we see that match number 95 is the first line and so on. We can change the display to see all the transactions that automatically matched, or switch over to see what hasn't automatically matched. And before I move on, in some cases, the bank statement provided to you by your bank will group all of some type of transaction into one line when maybe you logged those transactions to GP as many. So to make that easier, we have a functionality to group transactions like that so they come into the GP side as one line as well. In this example, I grouped all of my Amex receipts. So these two transactions here, it's one simple line. However, this transaction here is a group of 3 different receipts, and I can drill back right from this window. And I can see that these 3 transactions equal the $2,200 amount. If for some reason we missed a transaction and needed to add another, we can do so, and we can also remove transactions. So that's what these 2 transactions are here, and that's a handy functionality for some. So, as we can see, we have 2 computer checks for $22.75 that didn't match. And if we expand that detail again, we see that on the bank side, the document number here has a leading 0 when compared to its counterpart. This is one of the parameters other than amount that I said previously. So not only must these transactions governed by their BAI transaction code, which I've specified here, they must also match on document number, check number. So I can simply check the boxes next to these transactions, verify the total marked on either side is equal, and click match. And those have moved on to the match tables. Similarly, in this case, the GL side has a leading 0. So we manually check the boxes there, check that the total marked agree, and click match. A lot of the times bank fees will be included on the statement, but we haven't logged those to the GL yet. So we have 2 options here. The first option for the bank fee, in this example it has transaction type XXX. We can select the box next to it and click the option Create GL Transaction. That pops up the normal transaction entry window that everyone's seen in GP. We can simply add bank fee to the reference, and down below you see that the cash account has already been populated, as well as the corresponding credit to the GL. So I would just select my offset account, and I'll just click a random one for the purpose of the demo, and I would post that. We can skip the report that's everyone's seen. And as you can see, that bank fee that I just posted has populated the GP side of the reconcile window already checked. There's no additional steps needed it's already posted directly to the GL for this bank account, and I just click match, and those are moved over. I mentioned just a moment ago that there are two methods of dealing with those transactions. Sometimes companies have a great deal of bank fees or other transactions that hit the bank and do not hit the GL yet. With CSV formats, we can tell ABR to auto-post those. As I mentioned a moment ago as well, that transaction type is XXX. I just used that for the purposes of this example. You can enter the transaction type, enter the posting account, the offset account you want associated with that. And when you import that statement, any bank fees that ABR sees, it will automatically post transactions, so you don't have to go in and do those manually, which I think is a nice feature. So back to the reconcile window, we just matched the remainder of the bank statement items. Generally speaking, if all bank items are matched, the remaining items on the GL side are outstanding transactions. So I take a look at my current book balance, statement ending balance, they both look right. My difference is 0 because these outstanding transactions explain the difference between my current book and statement ending balance. So my reconcile is complete, and I am now able to click the reconcile button. I'll print the two reports to screen. The first report that's printed are all of the transactions that were just reconciled and thus moved to the historical reconcile tables. So we have the handy journal entry number, reference, transaction date, and now amount, reconcile number. So that's great stuff. And then the more important report, the closing balance report, where we have our bank closing balance as of the reconciled date, our general ledger balance. The difference is showing 0. And on the second page, we have a list of our outstanding transactions. So that's a handy report. And you can reprint these at any time you'd like, which I know that in GP you are not able to. So that's a great feature. Now that's all wrapped up, you're ready to move on to the excuse me, the next period. So 5/12/2017, we would reproduce the same steps. We would extract the transactions from the GL, import the transactions from the statement, auto-propose, and then clean up the straggling transactions. We could re-reconcile. One more thing I'll go over. As I just mentioned, we're able to print out reports. We can print out the reconcile report, which is the first report, the closing balance report, the second report, any historical closing report or reconcile report, outstanding transactions reports. It's a great deal of additional reports. Also, if you need to provide someone with outstanding transaction lists, you're able to do so straight from the reconcile window. And we have another nice, neat list of our outstanding transactions. So that just about does it for me. I am open to answering questions if anyone has any of those at all.
Yes, we are going to open up for questions. We prefer that you answer or ask your questions verbally, and that way the rest of the audience can hear. So at this time, we're going to take all of the attendees off of mute. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. I'm going to lower everyone's hand at this time. So take this time to raise your hand, and then we will say your name so you can go ahead and ask your question. It looks like we have a question from Christine. Christine is asking, is there a certain type of the file the bank needs to provide?
Sure. Generally, it's easiest to work with CSV or BAI files. Those are the standard files that banks provide. We're also able to work with standard files provided by the bank, which are not very intuitive in that they are not as standard.
Okay, great. Do we have any other questions? Okay, Rose Herrera, I'm going to take you off of mute so you can go ahead and ask your question verbally, okay? Hi, Rose, you're live.
Okay, hi. My question is, does your GP needs to be linked electronically to the bank while you import all your data, or all the statements, or does I normally just import all the the data from the bank through CSV, and then I just manually reconcile them? So how does it work?
Right, and that's, you don't need to be linked to the bank itself. It would essentially be the same process to bring the bank statements in. So on my screen, you can see the import file name, and that's simply where I've saved the CSV file. So I would import directly from the file that the bank has provided me at the end of the month.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So I'll do my import, CSV import, and then I'll just, import the file name. How did you get to that import processing screen?
Sure. What I did under routines, we expand advanced bank reconciliation, and we select statement import.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll try it.
All right, perfect. Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So if you have any questions that you think of later, please email your questions to events@turnkeytech.com. For more information on the product that you just saw, contact your account manager if you don't currently have an account manager and you're interested in learning more about Nolan and Turnkey. Go ahead and use events@turnkeytech.com. And I thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Patrick, for that presentation. And I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.